Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Charles from the channel Books on Stereo, and I'm here to bring you another episode of In Conversation. We're going to be talking about bully romances. So I have Lacey from Lacey Book Lovers and Lisa from Mark v. Lisa. I'll link their channels down below, so definitely go subscribe to them. But the reason why we decided to do this video is because we all read The Bet by J.L. Beck and C. Hallman. It is a new adult bully romance, and we have some thoughts about it. So Lacey, can you give us a synopsis for The Bet?
Okay, so it's a new adult dark bully romance. Our main characters, Jules and Remy, they were best friends growing up, but for some reason, Jules had to leave, move to a different city, and Remy got mad about this, and so they lost touch, and now they reunite in college. They're in the same class, and this time our hero is very, very pissed and decides to bully the heroine.
That was a great synopsis. I would have said it's about a bet.
Oh yes,
yeah, there is a bet.
I was like, it's a bet. It's a new adult college romance is bullied. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, I mean, you can probably guess what kind of bet it is. Needs to get in her pants and ruin her life.
And so, if you guys haven't read the book, we will be getting to spoilers. I will put up the spoiler banner. What did everyone give this book? What's our initial ratings? I gave it a 4.
I gave it a 1.
And I gave it a 2, but then it got bumped up to a 4 after my third reread because I had to admit to myself that I actually liked the book more than my initial reading. But I have a defense for it, which is sometimes the books are bad, but they just hit the right spots. And that's what's for me.
Yeah. I mean, your review is still like the 2-star review.
Yeah, I'm not gonna defend this book. No, it's not a good book. It's not the characters aren't well written. The plot doesn't make sense, but it hits the right spots for me.
Hey, I was brave enough to give it a 4 on Goodreads.
That's true. Yeah. But did you reread it? Did you reread it?
I just read it once. I was like, once I got halfway through, I realized what the authors were doing. So I took nothing in it seriously. I'm like, this is just trash. But I'm enjoying the trash purposes
only. Yeah, it's definitely not going to be taught at a university anytime soon. Maybe not what not to write, but that's no. Yeah. What made you write it? Read it though. What made you read it though?
I read, I think, the third or fourth book in the series.
Okay. I
was trying to win an Instagram contest or something where you had to read all these books. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna read all these books, and then I'm gonna win $500 for Amazon. And I liked that book, so I was like, okay, let me go read The Bet. And I saw on Goodreads how low it was rated. I was like, oh. I saw the reviews. Yeah. I'm like, oh, what the hell is happening in this book? And then I read it, and I noticed that Lisa read it, and I saw Lacey was reading it. And I was like. And then I actually read it. I was like, what the hell? Let's rewind. Let's talk about why the hero is so pissed at the heroine. Did you guys believe that was enough of a reason for his hatred of her, but the entire book?
I mean, no. I mean, that's mainly the reason for my 1 star. It's always so hard to find a legitimate reason for bullying in bully romances for me. A lot of the time it's really dumb, like this one, where the hero doesn't take accountability for himself, just blames everyone else but himself. I mean, some authors can do it right, but here it just was not well done.
I have a question. Is the spoilers, we're talking about the spoilers, we're spoiling, or are we not spoiling?
Yeah, we're spoiling the book.
Okay. I forgot what was the reason why he hated her. What was the reason?
Because her parents got divorced, so she had to move away. And he got mad about that. They were 15.
Wait. No, wasn't too his best friend was the heroine's brother, and that played it. Did he die?
They were best friends.
Were they best friends?
He died after.
Okay, I think that's right. I can't remember.
It is right.
Here's my
the dad and the brother died after they moved away. But yeah, he got mad because her parents divorced and they had to move.
I was like, it's not even her fault.
She's 15.
Yeah, I know. She has to legally go with them because
I know.
okay. The reason why I'm confused is because I read so many bully romances because it's like my trash and it's literally the same story. It's always the same
Mhm.
story. And it's always like I get confused. I think J.L. Beck and C. Hallman also wrote, they wrote many, many other bully romances after this bet,
Mhm.
right? So I got confused between storylines. I know that there was one bully romance that I read that had similar plot line, but this time around, she was molested by his father, and then that's why like they had to like leave or something. I don't know. Anyways, going back
Oh,
to
and
the
Oh,
bet.
that's like a different.
another
That's
book.
like, I don't remember that happening.
Yeah.
No, it's
But it
not from
totally
the bet.
could.
It's from a different book, but I got confused because I thought maybe she was like molested and then that's why she had to leave and that was her
No.
reason for leaving.
Mhm.
But her reason for leaving was just because her parents got
Parents
divorced.
got divorced.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Why did the parents get divorced?
I mean, that doesn't really matter.
It just like baffles me that the hero was that angry
At
for like
her.
that many years. That, like,
Yeah.
it would have been like 6 years, like 3 years. That he
Yeah.
sat on this anger. And like the one thing he decides to do was like, I'm gonna go sexually assault her and then record it. That's the part where it started to like. I think that's why a lot of people DNF'd it
Mhm.
because you get to that. What's that? Like, chapter 3 or it's like pretty
Yeah.
early on in the book, and it's clearly sexual assault, and the heroine does nothing. So I'm like, I feel like, how do you guys feel about that? Like, I feel uncomfortable reading that,
Mhm.
even though it was kind of spicy. So I was like,
It's a thing. It's a thing. Like, let's be real here. It's a thing. Like when the authors write like not like non like dubious consent, like non-con, like it's a thing. Like people sometimes look out for those
Yeah.
things.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
I
one
don't
was
know if
like
it was a
definitely
thing.
over the line.
Yeah. Definitely non-con.
I think what's wrong with it was that they didn't specify that this romance is for that taboo factor. They just threw it in there and then you're like, but nobody warned me, and then now I feel icky because if I knew I was walking in with this specific taboo thing, I'll be like, okay, like let's see where this takes us.
Yeah, like when I requested it from my library, I think it was a new book that they just added. I was like, well, I mean, I kind of know these authors, but I was hoping it wasn't going to be another bully romance or anything as crazy as what happened. So I can see people being blindsided by it.
Mm-hmm.
So Lacey, did you read this for like funsies or like did you read this for a specific video or like?
Yeah, for funsies.
For funsies.
I try to request like all the indies that my library gets, and then I end up listening to them and then regretting some of them.
A waste of your time.
I feel bad for the library. The library spent money on this audio.
I know.
Just
Someone
because you requested it.
Yeah.
But it's a popular series. I mean, I feel like they're a popular author or like somewhat popular.
Yeah.
I guess they wanted more of a betrayal because it'd be a little weird to just start being bullied by some random stranger,
Yeah.
The amount of bully romances that I read that started off like that with no freaking reason aside from she being poor or like she just being the new girl makes no sense to me. But like I'm like there like a masochist just loving the hate. I'm just like, yes, give it to me.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna regret it in the end when you realize you're wrong.
I mean, sometimes the regret part, it doesn't hit as hard.
Some bully romances work if they do it right and like they actually have a good story and good characters, and like the hero actually does have to like atone for what he did to the heroine. I'm like, okay, like I can make some leeway. But this book, I remember it did have like a content warning. I don't know if it was in the audio, I think, where they mentioned like this may not be the story for everyone. I feel like it's this book that had like the content warning. I was like, you need to flesh that out way more because if you're like, I feel like if you are a survivor of like sexual assault or like date rape or anything like that, like this book would be like extremely triggering. But what do you guys think about the second love interest alongside the heroine? Did you see that twist with his character? Lisa's like,
I forgot. I'm sorry.
like he's a
I
nice
can't
guy who
right
says
now.
like he likes her, and then he ends up like trying
Right.
to.
And then they made his character just like a complete 180 just to make him worse than the hero.
Trying to kill the heroine.
Yeah.
At the
Yes, the whole suspense part, and then the hero gets to act like the white knight. But yeah, like this heroine she was just so nice, like did not deserve any of this. And then the part when he finds out that her brother and dad died and he didn't even believe her. He literally called her
Yeah.
out in the middle of class. Like, you're a liar. Why would you lie about this? And she starts crying. Oh my God. Can you imagine like your family members died and someone's like, you're such a liar.
I got what the authors were doing with the other male character, but I was like, no. Like you just made a even like extremely worse character. And like the hero doesn't even fully really atone for what he did. He basically like recorded a tape, sexually assaulted her. The tape gets leaked, and then the brother shut him. He's like, "Oh no, I don't deserve her anymore. I don't deserve her." And in the epilogue, everything's fine. They're back together. I was like, "No." I was like, "No."
Yeah.
I like the scene, but no.
You saved her life, whatever, but you would have done that anyway.
But you say all this, Charles, but you still give it a 4?
Yes, because I realized like the dark romance, like my dark romance.
You have to rate it on a different scale.
Like if I was reading this as like someone who didn't read dark romance, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's like a 2 or a 1.
Yeah.
But the dark romance is I'm like, ooh, give me that dark and twisted, toxic relationship that I should not like, but I love.
Yeah, like dark romances are definitely on a different scale in terms of like they get easier ratings because they don't make sense. It's like fantasy, but like whatever, as long as it invokes an emotion in you where you feel like physical pain, angst, or like anxious, like anxiety, and like like yearning for like these two characters to get together, I think like they deserve a higher rating.
Yeah, I mean, I hated it, but I can see why people would enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I want like that kind of angst, I would just read an angsty book and not a bully romance. You know?
I think you're just too nice. Like, I think you're like really nice, and then like you're just like, F bullies. We don't want them ever. So I don't think we'll ever like a bully romance.
But do we have any more thoughts about the bet? And like, isn't it weird that this book actually came out in 2019? I thought this was like a much like later release. That's why I was shocked when it was released. I was like, 2019. I was like, and we went through the whole, and we went through like the Me Too. I was like, how did this book get put out? I was thinking like this is like an early 2000s release. That's what kind of read to me. So I was like, I gave it some allowances because I thought it was like an older indie romance title.
Mm-hmm.
But 2019, what do you guys think about that? Do you think it's like on par for bully romances or?
Yeah, I mean, there's still going to be a ton published even today. It's huge in indie romances. People love this stuff. And I don't know if the authors still write bully romances. I think Lisa said they
Especially Mafia.
Yeah. And now you want them to go back.
They do what's trendy. That's what I think they're doing because obviously that's how you make money. So like for the most recent books that they have been writing, it's all been Mafia romances, and I'm not like the biggest fan of Mafia yet, so I just never really bothered going into it. And then for bully romances, I don't know. I guess I wasn't very in tune with the romance community back then in 2019 where I knew what was actually trending and what was popular, so I don't really have an opinion on that. But indie romances just don't really care about the topics that are happening.
Yeah. I mean, they write what they write and then they have an audience for it, They'll find, if they want a bully romance, they'll find it.
Yeah.
I was just shocked by the Goodreads review because this book, I feel like out of all the bully romances that I've seen, this one gets like dragged the most. Like I just like open up the review page and just like DNF. This is the worst book I've ever read. I can't believe someone would publish this. I'm like,
That's pretty common though with bully romances. Like a lot of them, a lot of them get really bad reviews. I mean, it makes sense, but yeah, as many people love them, a lot of people hate them too.
Yeah, like I mean, you get people like me who secretly loved it, but won't give it a higher than, I gave it 4 stars this year. When I first read it, I gave it 2, and my review makes it sound like I want to burn it. But like nobody knows secretly that I still have it on my phone. Like I probably bought it. And sometimes when I'm feeling lonely at night, I go back to this bully romance and I reread my favorite passages where he realizes that he's a dick. And then I'm like, okay. So I feel like reviews say one thing, but like the heart says another.
Consider this like at least like exposing herself. So like always like, reviews with like a grain of, if it's like a super trashy book, like maybe like slightly problematic, I'm like, let's verify Lisa's rating on this.
Yeah.
I think I was telling Lacey this, that I wanted to make a video that says great books that I gave bad ratings to. This is just like a bunch of books that I love, but I can't justify giving it a higher rating. Yes. And I said this one time in one of my videos, and somebody actually, like a lot of people commented and said, like, I agree. Like there are a lot of books that I give bad ratings to, but like I secretly love them.
Do you guys think bully romances like can exist like in 2021 like on the same level as a bet? Like it's problematic.
I think it's exactly the same thing as Lacey mentioned earlier on, where she said there's an audience for it. We're not dumb. We know that like bullying is not condoned. There's not enough that the heroes can really do in real life. Like in real life, like realistically, a bully can do to make me like my bully after they did that stuff to me in real life. But in dark taboo stories, it's like a fantasy world where it's okay. Like it's not like it's okay, but like it's like more playing out that fantasy that you're not as angry as it for it, because in reality what they're writing, like the authors are writing for a target audience, and that target audience is someone who enjoys bully romances, knows that it's not realistic, knows that it's kind of like a fantasy playing out, and they like it for what the juicy tidbits it is and what works for them. But then when you have like a general romance community coming in who are new to bully romances, who stumble upon it, don't really know what bully romance is until probably maybe doesn't even know that it was a bully romance, then you get into a sort of sticky situation where they kind of come out hands on hips and going like, this is not a good book. And then you're like, yeah, like we know this, like this is not your book, but like, so I think there's just going to be always like a target audience for these dark taboo treats.
Yeah, I don't see it going away ever, really.
Yeah.
I feel like especially with indie bully romances, they kind of slip through the cracks, They don't really, like the general romance audience doesn't really know about it, It's more just the small community who loves it and will keep buying it. But yeah, I don't think they'll ever, stop writing these kinds of stories as long as people keep buying them.
Yeah. Like, like I agree with Lacey. Like, it's one of those like smaller tropes and storylines that not everybody always talks about. And it's like, it's fine. It's totally fine. And it's not even like, I don't think normal booktubers or like normal book influencers would even draw attention to those, because those are the dark taboo treats that they might want to just keep it to themselves, and that's like their own thing, and that's totally fine too as well. So yeah, there's always going to be a quieter audience for these treats.
Because it seems like bully romances, are they technically, would you classify them as dark romances off the bat? Or would you, because I think some can trend towards like the dark, because is the bet marketed as a dark bully romance or just a bully romance?
And the Amazon page calls it a dark bully romance.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it just depends on what kind of bullying it is, because Bully by Penelope Douglas, I would not call it dark at all. Just like a contemporary new adult stuff with some bullying, but the intensity of the bet and and the author's other stuff gets pretty dark, and I can see why they would want to label it dark.
Because I feel like I don't know, like if romances become more lenient, especially with dark romances, I think sometimes we give them a pass too much. Like if you're into a certain genre, like I gave it a 4, so I'm completely one of those people where like I know there's so many problematic things that I don't think they even mention in the content warnings for the book about the bet. Going back to the bet, and just in general for a lot of dark romance is that do we give them a pass for more problematic content just because like it's in that genre?
Yeah, I think so. Because I mean, I love mafia romances and the amount of, violence. Sometimes there's assault too. Like, it gets crazy, but people love it. So I think as long as you give content warnings, maybe on your website, because sometimes I think books get taken down if the content warning is on the Amazon page, the blurb, but like a lot of authors don't give those content warnings. And then you're like, whoa, what am I reading?
That's how I felt while reading the bet. I was like, what the like I got like you gave us a little warning, but you didn't tell us like what is actually going to happen in this story.
Yeah.
I think because you would label it like and push it under dark romance, and like all of a sudden like, oh, it's problematic, but like it's dark romance. Like you should know what you're getting into. But it's like, is that necessarily okay? And like what can we like is there a way like to make and combine those like taboo elements and like still make bully romances work for modern romance audiences? I definitely feel like the general, like Lisa kind of mentioned, with the general romance reader, they'll automatically tear a book like this to shreds. But, like I feel like there's ways you can make these books work and make the trope work, because I think the reason why we love certain tropes is like they do stuff for us like instinctually, like on some level, and I think there's always a way that you can do it without being problematic. In some cases, like I think sometimes like if you're gonna do a bully romance, both of the characters have to be like kind of alpha in their personalities, or like they don't take shit from either one of the sides. Like it's almost like a rivalry instead of like a true
like
bully.
You kind of turn it into an enemies to lovers kind of thing where they both bully or fight. Yeah,
that's what I think. Like, but what do you guys think? Like, is there ways that like the bully romance can be improved, or we're just kind of stuck like the problematic secretly that we love trash?
Yeah. I feel like
at this
point we're kind of stuck. I think people really love the whole power imbalance when it comes to bully romances, like that whole fantasy. People want it. So yeah, I would say we're pretty stuck for now. I don't really see how it would be improved or if it needs to be improved, because I mean, bully romance, it's exactly what it is. If you change it, it's not bully romance anymore.
Have you guys read any reverse bully romances where it's a female bullying the hero? I was about to say the heroine. It's not an FF. I'm talking about like the heroine bullies the male hero. Like, have you read any books that like flip that dynamic?
I don't think so.
I wonder why they're not as popular.
It probably plays
like
into
a weaker
like the
hero.
fantasy.
Yeah, I don't think people want to read about a weaker hero. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it definitely plays into the fantasy for the romance reader, the female romance reader who wants to feel that power imbalance, who wants to feel like the main character who is being misjudged consistently and like mistreated. And then you feel really bad for the heroine, but then you deep down know that you are correct and that, all things will be right by the end of the book because the hero will be on his knees, hopefully, begging for forgiveness. So I think that's the fun part of bully romances.
So like it's almost like the grovel has to be a part of the bully romance for. I wonder would readers like it if there was no groveling. If the hero
then
never.
It's just a shitty book. I'm sorry. I mean, okay,
if
listen.
He has no consequences for what he does, then like what's the point?
An asshole.
Does there have to be like?
And how would you even fall in love with him?
Exactly. Then he's just a guy that has hot.
You would totally read that, Charles. You would totally read a bully romance with like zero remorse or grovel from the hero.
Yeah, but like, would you give it a high rating though? Like, what?
I would probably give it a high rating.
Really?
He doesn't care.
Okay, no one cares. Everyone no one pays attention to my rating because they automatically think I'm gonna hate everything that I read. So like anything above 1 star is good is a good rating.
But like that's the whole point of a bully romance is the redemption arc for the heroine to get her justice and like
Mhm.
have him realize that he's wrong. If I'm gonna have a bully romance where he literally goes like, tough luck, then I'll be like, this is the worst book ever. Like, I'll be like, I hate this book so much. And then also, like, going back to the point, I guess I am like a person who really likes groveling in my romances for bully romances because they done effed up. Like, they messed up so bad that they have to grovel. And I think that's another problem with bully romances so far that I've read, like the handful that I read. It's not enough. It's like not enough groveling for me to like justify this book to give it a higher rating because like I've yet to seen one where the groveling was equal to the problems.
The problem, yeah. Yeah, that's why, like, sometimes with, like, bully romances, it's like, I wanted to ask the question, like, when I saw we were all reading this book, I was like, this is, like, interesting, like, the fact that this was published, like, very recently, like, within, like, 2 or 3 years ago, and, like, seeing the ratings, and, like, it's pretty low for a romance, for an indie romance, like, 3.5, 9, whatever. I'm like, that's pretty low for a book, and, like, all the reviews that you see on the first page are like, I hate this book. What the hell did you just write? Like, what? And I think some of those people actually love bully romances too.
Mhm.
So I think like for bully romance to work in nowadays, like it almost seems like it has to have that grovel, has to be present, like kind of matches like what the hero did, because then it just changes the whole trajectory of the novel. Or have a heroine that kind of dishes it back out to the hero to kind of like stay like kind of like keep the power imbalance, but make it not seem like as imbalanced. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. And
just-
like a story that's more, it makes sense, you know?
Mhm.
One that makes more sense. Because this one, the hero just dumb decisions.
So like you can't like use a scapegoat.
Yeah.
Would that work? Does that like kind of negate groveling if they like make another character super extra, like in the bet trying to kill the heroine at the end, and like somehow like convincing the girl that he was sleeping with that he raped her? Wasn't that part of the bet too?
Yeah, I was.
And so like the police were after him.
Mhm.
Like does that work? Like if they make a character seem worse, then like you like the hero a little bit better because like at least he didn't go that far.
Right. Oh god.
Like does that work for groveling, or do like they actually have to like say
Yeah.
I'm sorry, give him a break?
I mean, it would be okay if they had all that in addition to, you know, the groveling, but they didn't really have the groveling. They just kind of lumped it up with him, I don't know, feeling guilty and trying to stay away.
Like is there any hard lines when it comes to like what the hero does that you think you can come back from in a bully romance? Like is it just like it's okay like if they just like they say like mean things about the heroine, or like what's like your hard line? You're like you can't come back
Hard
from
limit.
this. Like
Hard
'cause I-
line? Oh
'cause
my
I feel
God.
like there has to be a line because like
I
as
mean,
like
each person, yeah, I'm
if you
sure
go
each
dark and
person.
taboo, like
Mhm.
authors are gonna push the boundary, but then like if you need that groveling to make it happily ever after, how do you can't push them too far.
Mm.
Like how like what is like too far for
They're
a
gonna
bully
write
to go?
themselves in a corner if they go way too far because they would know themselves deep down that they can't justify the hero. And I think like it's like a personal thing, like what your hard limits are for a romance reader, and like and your personal morals and ethics. I feel like I'll never fall in love with someone who killed my mom. Like, sorry, like not enough like saying I love you will hear me go like, you know what, great. I'll look past this. No, like killing my dog, killing my cat, killing everything I love. Goodbye. We will not talk to each other again. Next time I talk to you,
Yeah, but it's okay if he kills someone else, you know? That's like
yeah,
It's like it's not about me.
yeah.
Like, I'm
As long as
sorry.
it's not
That's
someone I love or
what?
care about. As long as it's not someone I love or care about, you can do.
You can kill whoever else as long as I don't.
I mean,
like,
that's like
love
the
you.
whole premise of mafia romances, you know?
That's
Yeah, just
true.
kill everyone except for the people I love.
Hmm.
But, like interesting enough, I feel like current mafia romances that are getting published, like Sophie, like I read Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark, and like it has like those like reasons why we love mafia, but it's done in a way I'm like, oh, now I see like this is like the modernized.
Mm.
Like you still have your favorite trope, you still have the alpha hero, you still have like he's like alpha hole, he's like very controlling, but like the way it's presented in the story, it's like, oh, it feels modern. It doesn't feel like what were you gonna say, Lisa?
Like, did Lacey read it though?
I did not know.
I feel like
No,
Lacey
you
wouldn't
haven't.
like it though.
You would like it.
I don't think she'll like it.
Okay.
I think it's the complete opposite of what she likes in mafia romances. Why? Because
Well,
I
it's
liked
like-
it. I
not-
liked it. Therefore, Lacey won't like it because I'm new to mafia romances. I typically don't like mafia romances, but why did I like this one? Because this one is modernized mafia. It's too nice. It's too sweet. Lacey probably wants like the dark and gritty, like kills
Okay.
everybody.
Yeah.
That is true.
That's
Because
true.
me and
that's
Lacey
true.
both read Neon Gods, and like Lacey said,
Yeah.
like Hades is too nice.
Yeah. So
And I
like,
agree with
Lacey
her.
will probably be like rolling her eyes, going like, "Okay, thanks for being so sweet, but like this is not what I wanted." Like,
But a lot of people who do like mafia romances also love that one.
Does anyone have any good bully romances to like wrap us up with?
so Saint and what was the other one? Lords of Pain. I like those secretly, but gave those 2 stars. But there is this one called Wicked Saint by Veronica Eden that I gave 3 stars, which is a really high rating for me for bully romances. I have no idea what it's about. Completely forgot. Never continued on the series afterwards. I think she stands up for herself in this one. I think because she's like bullied and tormented by the bully, but then she stands up for herself. So
Oh wow, it's low like the bed.
I think any other final thoughts before I wrap us up about bully romances?
yeah, we did a spin-off and started talking about Katie Crawford for the last like 15 minutes.
So I guess a good question is, are you for or against bully romances, or are you kind of meh towards them?
I personally try to avoid them. Like when I got into Reverse Harem, I was like, all right, give me some, but please don't give me bully romances. Like I just can't do it, especially the high school ones. I'm like, ugh. Like high school and bully, worst combo for me. I can do one individually, but like I can't deal with high school
Lacey would
bullies.
rather die than to read a high school bully romance.
So everyone recommend her high school bully romances that don't seem like they're high school bully romances.
Trick me
Recommend
into reading
her-
one.
Like heroes that have 6-pack abs, 6'3", has a beard and everything, that don't look like a high schooler but is a high schooler.
That's every single high school.
Yeah, that's
romance.
literally
All the
every
covers.
single one. I am for bully romances, but you'll never catch me giving it a higher rating than a 2. But
Then
know
a
that
4,
deep
you
down-
mean? Then
yeah,
a
but
4?
deep down in the heart, it's like a 4 out of 5, unless I state otherwise. And I read bully romances when, once in a dark moon, like once in a blue moon, like when I feel like I need a little cruelty in my life.
I am obviously for them. I can be critical of them at the same time, but like, I love dark romance. The darker, the better. I'm like,
Yeah.
you can like just drag the characters through the mud.
Read
like-
Regretting You by J.L. C. Holman.
Okay, I'm gonna expose myself. I did buy the rest of the series in audio.
Oh, for
The whole
the bed?
series?
Both
Oh my
series?
God.
or
Because,
just
like,
one?
I know what I got myself into, but I secretly like it.
It's the same story
You're not
rewritten with a
even
different
secretly
title on the
about it
cover.
though.
It's
I
the
look cute.
same
I look
story.
love it.
Wait, which one? Wait, which series? The 2 series from J.L. Beck and C. Holman,
I just did the
or the
the-
Bet series?
Bet series.
Oh, okay. The Regretting You is the other bully romance series that they wrote.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy that too.
but it's the same
Stop
thing.
doing this to me.
No,
It's
it's
the
the
same
same
story
thing. You're gonna
over
get
and over.
confused. You're just gonna get so confused. You're gonna be like, "Wait, I'm so confused. Like, did the girl get molested?" And then you have your friends look at you like you grew a head, like out of a.
Yeah, that was me trying to tell Lisa about the bet, like, and then she got it confused with like 3 other jail Beck books.
It's the same story. I can probably write a bully romance, and then everybody would be like, "Yo, that's copyrighted." I'm like, "No, it's not."
But thank you guys so much for coming on my channel. Like, this was so much fun. Everyone, this link down below in the description box. Go subscribe, go check out, go read them, like go follow all their videos, follow them on all their social medias as well. But Thank you guys so much again for watching my channel, and I'll catch you guys for a brand new video. Bye, everyone.
Bye.